All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the Akim and a few Akwat who may be listening. We the brothers from the Great Millstone Camp here in Chicago, coming back at you with another lesson through the Spirit and power, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. Lord willing, this will be an edifying lesson. All right, and the title of this lesson is, This is What Freedom from the Lord Looks Like. All right, and, the inspiration from this lesson was just the overall spirit that these people are in, man. You Jakes in particular. All right, this devil has put the spirit of hatred of men in the earth, in particular the so-called black man, but all of you men of the tribes. It's an attack on us first and foremost, and then down to the other nations, even other Edomites. All right, but focusing on so-called black men in particular and the rest of the men of the tribes as well, you got to understand that we're a representation of the Lord on the earth. All right, not on the same level, but as the order goes, Yahweh, Yahushai, man, woman, child. So we are the highest level on the physical plane until Yahushai comes back. Obviously, in the spirit, Yahushai is above us, the Lord is above us, but on this physical plane right now on this earth, we represent the Lord, man, when we in our right mind and in our right spirit. All right, and these devils hate that, man. They hate men being good fathers, which also is a representation or a symbolization of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai when done properly. All right, you can see this use this hit piece that they did on Joe Jackson as an example of that, because in reality, now we know in the real world he was wicked, he was an idolater, and he did all type of wickedness with these devils to be in show business. But the way they depicted him in the movie didn't include none of that. They just depicted him as a stern father who led his household and didn't spare the rod when it came to disciplining his children, which is what the Lord says you're supposed to do. But they demonized that, and it's all because they have a hatred for the Lord. All right, because the way that Joe Jackson dealt with them kids in that movie, it was really an analogy for how the Lord was dealing with us and how the Lord is dealing with the men of the Lord. All right, you look at that movie, Michael Jackson and all them kids, they was great, they was talented, they was
successful.
Yes, and they was gifted. All right, just like Jake is gifted above all the nations. All right, and Joe wasn't playing with them. When they stepped out of line, they got rebuked. The same way the Lord did us, man, and is doing us. But Jake has Jake has a problem with that because they've been brainwashed by this devil. All right, and as the saying goes, misery loves company, and these devils know what the Lord got in store for them, which is why they have the spirit that they have about it. All right, but what they trying to do is convince you that you're in the same boat as they're in to keep you going off. All right, but you have something to say?
Yeah, and touch on a point in the book of Sirach, I believe it's the 30th chapter. They tell you that he that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy.
Yeah.
Esau, even a so-called white man, he don't like to see a strong male lead.
Yeah.
He's all about the opposite. He sets up a matriarchy. He destroys the households. He put a woman in charge. He's a complete opposite of righteousness. So when he does see a father, doing what he's supposed to do, it irks him.
Yeah. And he said this society is built on systems that incentivize the removal of the father from the life of the children, man. All right, we're going to get these precepts. Salakia for the rant. Just wanted to give a little background for the lesson. This is Job 9:24. It says, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? All right, so Esau, Edom is the wicked. All right, Malachi 1:4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahweh hath indignation forever. So like I mentioned before, these devils understand what the Lord got for them, man. They understand what the outcome of their existence is going to be. All right, the Lord has hatred for these devils forever. All right, and it also says in Exodus that he was going to have war with Amalek from generation to generation. All right, and Amalek is the chief tribe of Edom and the people that are in the chief seat in this kingdom, man. But the Lord got an axe to grind with all you Edomites to make it clear and to be clear. And see what this devil has tried to do and has successfully done for you 2/3 is convince you that you're in the same boat that he's in and that you should hate the Lord just like him. But what you niggas don't understand is that, yeah, even though the Lord has chastised us, that's actually a blessing, because the Lord chasteneth those that he loves. You know, a father chastises his children out of love. All right. And once again, we can point to that Joe Jackson example as proof of that. Okay. He was hard on those children. Those children got chastised when they was going off. And the result was that they are successful and legends in this society. And that nigga Michael Jackson is the greatest individual that this kingdom, Babylon the Great, America, has ever seen and is ever gonna see, man. All right, that nigga Mike is the greatest 2/3 in the history of the world, man. You niggas, ain't nobody gonna be on that level, man. Ain't no Edomite gonna be on that level, ever. And this they kingdom. All right. This Isaiah 29:15, it says, woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from Yahweh, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us? All right, they use all these, they do all this, these covert operations, all this programming with these movies and all this shit, and they think that the Lord don't see it, and the Lord has blessed the elect to see these things as well. And then that's why it's our job to let these people know what's happening, to sigh and cry to the Lord, and to make it known what they're doing, man. To take the cloak away from these devils, and to take the cloak for the sins away from these jakes for falling into the trap. This verse 16, it says, surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay, for shall the weak of him that made it, for shall the work of him that made it, he made me not, say, for shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not, or shall the thing framed of him that framed it, he had no understanding. And that's what this devil does, and that's what he's convinced you jakes to do. Think you got more understanding than the Lord. Think that the Lord is evil against you. All right. Mm-hmm. Now, like I said, these devils, yes, that's their situation. The Lord is not fucking with them. You know, hey, all these heathens, man, the Lord's name is a fear, and makes them fear and tremble, man, when they hear Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And that's how it's supposed to be. But these devils have successfully convinced you 2/3 that you included in that. And you know what? You want to be one of these devils. You want to do what this devil tells you to do. You are included in that. Yep. Go ahead.
The scriptures say the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the ways of the wicked seduce him. So these jakes have been seduced by the devil, and believing in his ways. Real quick, going into that discipline the Lord gives Israel. Sirach 17:17, for in the division of the nations of the whole earth, he set a rule over every people, but Israel is Yahweh's portion. So we are the people of the Lord. The Lord deals with us firsthand. It says, whom being his firstborn, he nourisheth with discipline, and giveth him the light of his love doth not forsake him. So the Lord nourishes us, he grows us, he teaches us through the discipline. But Jake get in their mind that discipline is a bad thing. No, that discipline is a good thing, and that's what this kingdom does. It rewards evil behavior, and it demonizes good behavior.
Yeah.
You know, it look down on the sternness of a father, you know, and demonize it, make it seem like an evil thing. But that correction is what makes a kid upright.
Yeah. Hey, man, and that story, you know, that's why it's good to be in the spirit, man, because when you go and you see these movies and you see all these things, you know, it's an overall carnal message that they're trying to send, but it's always something spiritual in these movies, because the Lord is the author of all these things. All right, but you got to have a spiritual eye to see it. So you know, it's good to go see these movies, and because you can see the sentiment that these devils are trying to push on these people, but you can also see, you know, the truth about the scriptures, man. Because as much as they tried to demonize this guy Joe Jackson in the movie, all you saw was this nigga's kids prospering and thriving.
Being great.
You know? After every scene of him whooping their ass, they on stage killing it, man. Being excellent, you know? Because at the end of the day, that's the truth of the matter. And only you 2/3 are hard-headed. Offended and too hard-headed to get it. You know, but it wasn't for you to get. That's why it's like that. Go ahead.
This 2 Maccabees 6:12. Now beseech those that read this book, that they be not discouraged for these calamities, but that they judge those punishments not to be for destruction, but for a chastening of our nation. And we're always going to that chastening is correction for moral uprightness, you know, to make you morally better. It says, for as a token of his great goodness, when wicked doers are not suffered any long time, but forthwith punished.
Yeah.
For not as what other nations whom the Lord patiently forbeareth to punish till they come to the height and the fullness of their sins, so dealeth he with us. So the Lord, he jacks us up for our wrongdoing immediately.
Yeah.
It says, lest that being come to the height of sin, afterwards he shall take vengeance of us, and therefore he never withdraweth his mercy from us. And though he punish with adversity, yet doth he never forsake his people. So the Lord will give us the bread of adversity, but at the end, he's going to return and have mercy upon us.
That's right.
And we're going to be better off. We're going to be better than we were before.
That's right.
We're going to be made perfected.
That's right. This is Proverbs 1:22. It says, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity, and the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge? Turn you at my reproof, behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. And that's what happens when you sincerely turn away from the ways of this world and seek Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai and the 100% truth with sincerity, man. All right. Lord willing, the Lord is dealing with you, and he reveals these things unto you and blesses you with a portion of his spirit. Okay, this verse 24, it says, because I have called and ye refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded, but ye have set at naught all my counsel and would none of my reproof. Hey, the men of the Lord been out here letting these niggas know what the Lord has to say about all these things that's going on in this society and all this wickedness that Jake is doing. And also letting these niggas know that regardless of the wickedness that you've committed, if you repent and turn back to the Lord before it's too late, the Lord will forgive you if you're sincere. But these niggas don't give a fuck. They don't want to hear that, man. They don't want to put the work in to receive salvation. All right. They think that, oh, well, God love everybody, so I'm going to just keep being a wicked ass nigga. And I'm an Israelite anyway, so I'm going to receive salvation. It's not going to go like that, man. First of all, you're going to get cooked with these nukes if you don't get delivered, number one. Then number two, when you come back in the kingdom, you're going to have to live with that, man. You're going to have to bear that shame. And you're going to know that you had multiple opportunities, man. All these niggas know what the truth is, man. I don't care what they try to say or how they try to act. It's all over the internet. Brothers is in every major city across the earth teaching this word. These niggas know what's going on, man. They don't have no excuse, and they don't have a cloak for their sins. The Lord made sure of that. This is verse 26. It says, I will also laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. Because, hey, nobody is more desperate to seek the Lord than a nigga in a bad case, man. And even then, niggas ain't sincere. But when they in the midst of the fire and getting their ass jacked up, they're going to be trying to seek the Lord, and the Lord ain't going to listen to them, man, because they didn't want to get down when it was inconvenient for them to do so. Verse 27. It says, when your fear cometh as a desolation and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. You know, you got all these niggas, oh, well, where was God during slavery and all this other malarkey that they be talking about, man. Which if you was studied and you understood the scriptures, you would know that the Lord was there the whole time. He's the one that put us through it because we was going off. And that's another thing. Jake don't want to accept accountability for the fact that we was wicked, man. Not just in this life, but in past lives too. You know, and that's another thing that these Jakes don't want to understand. But the Lord gonna deal with them. This verse 29, it says, for that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of Yahweh. Because these niggas, they'll rather have the fear of Esau. That's what they chose. You know, this devil tell them to jump these niggas just to how high, man.
Yeah, they trust in oppression.
Exactly. Verse 30, they would none of my counsel, they despised all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. So, hey, man, You can call on JC. You can call on Allah. You can call on Esau. You can call on whoever you want to call on. Just know that if you try to call on Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai in that day, he's not coming for you if you ain't been putting in this work, man. If you ain't made your body a living sacrifice, go ahead.
Yep, you ignored the Lord while it was still time. The Lord going to ignore you when you calling out to him, man. And the Lord knows all of our deepest, darkest fears. You know, and the Lord is finna bring a time like never before on the earth, man.
That's right. For the turning of the way of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them.
Something crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, you're only hurting yourself. Niggas walk by talking shit, making jokes, thinking we crazy. You only insulting yourself, man. You're not doing nothing to us.
Turning your nose up.
Yeah, you're not doing nothing to us. We doing what we got to do, the Lord willing, be good in that day. That's why we working with fear and trembling, seeking out our salvation with fear and trembling. We don't care about what you niggas think or what you got to say, because when that day comes, we hoping that the Lord gonna have mercy on us. And we know that niggas like y'all that ain't putting in no work ain't gonna get shit but a hard time, man. This verse 33, it says, but whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely and shall be quiet from fear of evil. All right, so that's what we hoping for, man. Because at the end of the day, the things that's coming to this kingdom are doom and gloom, man. It ain't shit left for these niggas but doom and gloom. All this fun and all this folly is over with, man. All these niggas broke. Gas costs $10 a gallon. It's over with for you niggas, man. This Matthew 11:28, it says, come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. And we try to go out and tell these jakes, but you know, they want to submit themselves to Esau instead, man. All right, for this verse 30, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. All right, so hey, man, these scriptures, you know, following in the path of Yahweh Shai, humbling down to Yahweh Shai, humbling down to Yahweh, this is the lightest burden that we can have on this side, and just period. You know, these niggas will cry and complain about, you know, getting in line under the Lord and in the right order, but then they'll go and follow what Esau tell them, and that's the most vigorous and vicious taskmaster that was ever existed, man.
Ruthless.
These devils they putting the heaviest burden on you. They convinced you niggas that they burden was lighter than the burden of being in order under Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, and you niggas bit the bait, man. And that's why all you niggas fucked up out here. You know, we're going to go back to that movie. That nigga Joe Jackson kids was good. They had money. They made it in this society. You niggas is the ones that think that being in order is a burden. That's why you niggas fucked up on a carnal level too, man. Period. And like I said, them niggas, they wasn't righteous, but it's an analogy that's very apropos to what we talking about, man. This 1 Corinthians 13 and 11, because see, you niggas, you got the mindset of a child, man. You think like a little kid, grown ass man, niggas 60. Well, I'm in the motherfucking theater watching this shit. 60-year-old niggas in the theater crying and complaining about Joe disciplining his kids, and it's a fucking movie, man. Thinking like little kids, man. And these niggas was alive to see what that actually produced. And for you niggas that don't know, man, hey, my family from Gary, Indiana. Ain't shit over there. And it's even worse now than it was then. You was either going to get out like them niggas got out, or you was going to be broke forever, man. Point blank. This 1 Corinthians 13 and 11. When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. All right, and hey, however you feel as a little kid, because when you're going through that discipline and you're dealing with those things, nobody likes dealing with those things when you go through it. As the scriptures say, you know, it's grievous. You know, it worketh a good thing, like the brother said, you know. But once you grow up and you become a man, and I remember my father told me this when I was growing up, because he was just like that nigga Joe Jackson, whooping ass, man. All right. And he told me, yeah, you can hate me now, that's cool. You cannot agree with what I'm doing now, that's cool. But when you become a man and you see how these people are moving out here in the world, you're going to be glad that I'm doing what I'm doing now. And he was right, man. These people out here soft, they weak, they don't got no integrity. And it's because they didn't have that in their life, man. You know? And hey, I'm not saying that anybody, you know, we in captivity, so nobody was brought up perfectly except for those brothers that was brought up in the truth and underneath the teachings of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. If you wasn't brought up like that, you wasn't brought up 100% correctly. But, you know, the Lord had mercy on certain brothers to be able to have that upbringing, man. And even if you didn't have that in your family life, so-called, your relatives, you know, that's what this truth is for. That's why it's important to have a rank and have order, because you got men that's spiritual fathers that discipline you in the same spirit, man. Even though it may not be physical discipline, it's in the same spirit. You know, and these niggas, they don't like that, but that's because they think like little kids and bitches, man. And that's why they're gonna get what they get. All right, because at the end of the day, you niggas want to, all this shit is leading to one spot, man. Everything is leading to one spot. You want to trust in Esau, this is what you gonna get, man. This is Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So you niggas don't want to get right. You don't want to humble down to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. You got a problem with black man authority, so-called black man authority. Well, hey, man, get in line and take that chip and then catch a nuke, man. Because that's what Esau got for you niggas, man. Ain't nothing else coming to this kingdom. This shit is over. You all this shit you've been working hard for about to burn up, man. So you can either get right with the Lord or you can get left down here. And then when you come back in the kingdom, maybe somebody will pat you on your back and tell you it's all right. Depending on who you are. Some of you niggas, I ain't got shit for you. You got anything else? Well, hey, man, Lord willing, this is an edifying lesson. All right, and we'll be back next time. With that, we're going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of great millstone. Shalom to the Akim and a few Akwat who may be listening. Lord willing, this is an edifying lesson. Until next time, Kwam Yasharala Wa Baba Ball. Shalom.